You're about to see a couple of direct set-piece goals, each one better than the last. You can tell just by watching the first time around that all of these were scored by the same player. Now you're probably thinking, I've seen a bunch of videos of both pro footballers and random nobodies scoring free kicks, and these are not even that impressive. Why should I care? Well, first, this video isn't about free kicks. You should check out a Ward Prowse video for that. But more importantly, imagine for a second that you were Pep Guardiola. No, really, I want you to take a moment to imagine. Imagine you were Mourinho, Klopp, Zidane, Conte, Ancelotti, Simeone, Potter, or any other manager with a world-class understanding of the game. And you had a really young player, so complete, scoring goals. All kinds of goals, including but not limited to the direct free kicks you saw earlier. Creating chances. Tackling, blocking, intercepting, leading, all with the consistency that you can only find at the top level. Sounds like a player you know, doesn't it? In fact, most world-class players are able to do all of these, but that is the point of this video. This guy doesn't even play in Europe, or any other known leagues for that matter. And yet we could be witnessing the career of a future master of the game take off. A prodigious presence propelled by an extraordinary amalgamation of mental alacrity, unwavering fortitude, impeccable discernment of a football game, unparalleled prowess as a leader, and an inherent reservoir of indomitable physical strength. Fancy words. I know. It begs the question, who the hell is this guy? To find out, we'll have to take a step back. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Do it now. What do you get when you combine outstanding technical ability with adept vision in a central defender? This guy, a player named Chisimdi, a player who, as a result of the power he is able to produce on the ball and his technical prowess, possesses the range and accuracy to find and execute long balls with alarming consistency. I say alarming because he has only started on his journey as a player. Yet watching him on the field, his mastery and execution on ball release, along with everything that makes him outstanding as an individual, is nothing short of awe-inducing. There are several aspects of his game that make this the case, but we have to start somewhere to see what this lad can really do. What fascinates me the most is his passing range and accuracy, and you are able to see what I'm talking about already. As you can imagine, this can be tactically useful to any manager. It isn't common to find a central defender with so much attacking influence on a game. If there were such a thing as a center half who could single-handedly decide the outcome of a game, this guy would be a very good shout. An interesting fact is that Chisimdi hasn't always had a lot of these abilities. Under close supervision over a few years, he has shown incredibly accelerated growth. This probably has something to do with his ability to learn and adapt quickly. Affirming this point is the fact that he has played in multiple positions: defensive midfield, attacking midfield, even as a striker, in all of which he has succeeded to a considerable extent. His quick and highly reliable decision-making and discipline are some of the reasons he plays more as a center half. When you consider his high intelligence and understanding, it starts to make sense how he is able to do all that he is able to do at such a young age. I mentioned his leadership earlier, and to that you've probably noticed the captain's armband. But his captainship aside, he is a natural leader, showing great character, discipline, as well as several other emulable personal traits. But of course, we can't show you any of that in a video. We'll just wait till he's a superstar and hear other players and managers talk about it. This ability to consistently execute passes with such range and precision has several implications. First, a team with this guy on it always has the option to go long against teams that press high up the pitch. Which brings me to another point: Chisimdi's calmness and unwavering focus in high-pressure situations. Watch how he is able to beat the press in this clip, contributing immensely to a seamless build-up from the back. In this, he beats the pressing forward and plays a long ball with precision, setting the team on the attack. This happens time and time again, game after game. Furthermore, he always reads the game, seeming to know when to do what under pressure. This results in him having a record of making almost no mistakes in these situations, making him highly reliable on the ball. A defender with these abilities is tactically a problem for oppositions that defend by pressing high, or oppositions that play with a high defensive line. Doing the former without playing with a high line creates space in the middle and an automatic overload for Chisimdi's team, which gives the team an advantage when he finds the pass into the midfield that beats the press, which we know he can. And if the team also happens to have a forward with a big physical presence who can hold up the ball or redirect long balls, like a certain 6'4" Norwegian, he can also play the long ball forward with incredible accuracy. In the case of the latter, pacey forwards come alive, and we see attacking creativity. Only this time it is from the back, from a central defender. With his composure, vision, and passing range, he creates scoring chances from the deepest possible outfield area of the pitch. This isn't something that a lot of central defenders can do, even at the very top level. You can mention a few names: Lisandro Martinez, Virgil van Dijk, Joachim Andersen, etc., etc. All of these players are known for their intelligence and great understanding of the game, and it is fascinating seeing that some kid from Africa is seen in a similar light and indeed has the potential to be among the best. I'll let you have a look at these abilities I've mentioned at play. I must warn you, he does this over and over and over and over again, and there are a lot of them in this video, and that has the potential to get boring, so if you've had enough, feel free to skip the passes to see other aspects of his game. Now, let's talk about his defending. After all, he is a central defender. With all of this attacking ability we've seen, and I say that knowing we're talking about a central defender, his defending is quite on par with his attacking. That wouldn't come as a surprise given that with all this ability he plays more frequently as a center half. His great understanding of the game means he's able to read defensive vulnerabilities ahead of everyone else and stop opposition advances by shutting down spaces, leading to interceptions and sometimes goal-saving blocks. This knack for smelling danger around the corner, which can be considered a sort of preemptive defending, has the implication that he is almost never in a situation where he has to make a lunging tackle, and as such he seldom commits fouls. When he tackles, he does so in a calculated manner, cleanly winning the ball, and oftentimes immediately turning defense into attack, making him tactically useful on the counter. Usually players who win the ball want to find the player who creates, but when the player who wins the ball can also create, like this guy can, you get faster counterattacks. Such is the level of ability we are looking at. I spent most of this video talking about what he can do. Now I'll tell you what he can't do. When it comes to slide tackles, the kind of lunges that scare forwards, he isn't the kind of defender you turn to. So if you're looking for a Nemanja Vidic, you'll have to find your way back to 2005, because let's face it, football has evolved. And while it's important to have a defender with a strong physical presence, nobody wants to see a defender who breaks bones anymore. Chisimdi stands at just over 6 feet. There's your strong physical presence, and before you make the argument that this isn't tall enough, this is above the average height for a defender in Europe. So as far as height goes, this is satisfactory, and considering all that he can do, most managers would take a more experienced version of him over center backs that play dirty, like this German monstrosity. He wins virtually all aerial duels, comes out on top in 1v1s, as well as all physical challenges. But take this with a pinch of salt, as we are talking about amateur football here. In fact, the only thing that would hold true universally is his outstanding technique, because that is one thing that is independent of the ability of the opposition. His strong physical presence is also evident in attacking situations in the box, as his aerial ability enables him to win first balls in the opposition's box. scoring goals, and creating for teammates with redirect. It's almost too good to be true. A player who is a threat on both direct and indirect set pieces. Fortunately, you do not have to take my word for it. Since we're looking at goals, let's bring back the set pieces we saw earlier just for the pleasure of it. Now, of course, there are a number of direct set-piece attempts that underlie these goals, and when you look at them, they're not actually far off. You can see the technique just by looking at the path of the ball. And the fascinating thing is, this guy still has a very long way to go, and he can only get better over time. Of course, not every footballer gets better over time, but given his desire to learn and his meteoric improvement in such a short time, it's safe to make that call. But we'll let the experts decide, because I may be a huge fan of Chisimdi, but one thing I'm not is an expert. And by expert, I mean anyone who can make a tweet or a comment on the internet. So let us know in the comments section what you think. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more of this type of content. And I'll leave you with some more technical brilliance from Chisimdi Nnamani.
Thank you.